Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a little bit cautious about the voice, so everything good? Cool. Okay, guys. So happy to meet you today. Thank you very much for this opportunity, great audience. Let me make a quick survey here. So it was already mentioned that I'm going to talk about agility and agile. So anyone here who already knows anything about agile? One hand, please. Oh, so great. And who is already practicing some agile practices? Two hands? So many. So what can I tell you? You tell me, please. Okay, so I will be very brief with some of the findings. So this will be a story about agile journey, which I have experienced myself, and I will tell it in Georgian, "Chem sakutar tqavze," right? And of course, the biggest value of being agile and practicing some agility is to actually create something really cool and something really valuable. And we have heard so many cool things here, like Meta has presented, augmented reality, extended reality, whatever kind of cool things. And we also have heard about the story from Valley with good collaboration and being able to adapt to the change needed at the last moment with the coffee story. You liked it? I liked it as well. And it was impossible to do without a mindset which is called agile. I usually start with an experiment. So I have a special reward to anyone who will engage in this experiment. Yeah, so you are the first one. Come, please. Yeah, we are looking forward to meet you. So your name, please?
Irakli.
Irakli.
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice to meet you. So actually, this is the experiment itself, because I asked you to engage in something which is uncertain. You didn't know where you were coming to,
Yeah.
but you were ready to try it out.
Okay.
So this is the agile mindset, to still try it out. Just find me at LinkedIn. I will send to you a very nice thing.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So my presentation is here. Yeah. So on LinkedIn, I will send to you a free access to the resources about agility. And you speak Georgian?
No.
No, you don't. Okay,
English.
I will do an English one then. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, good. Now, so it has such a nice, so to say, title like Cultivate value for the customers. Let me share with you. So I'm Mariam Ghlonti. So the very first Agile course about Scrum and Agile approaches in Georgian language at the platform Udemy was created by me, and I'm very happy to share my knowledge with people, and here I am for that one. So I'm part of a big international company practicing at this moment, as they call it, Agile expert, whatever, but I'm still curious, learning more. Okay, so I have structured my story of this agility and biggest value of it to actually focus on the needs of the customer in the way of 3 questions. So these questions, in my observation, are really powerful ones, which are here in your brain and which lead you in that agile mindset. Let's start from the question 1. Ready? Okay. So question 1. What is the best thing we can do within the time frame given and with the resources given? I used to be a traditional project manager, an IT project manager, and back then also a more commercial view of product management. And we usually started from listing the requirements. You know this process, gathering requirements? Familiar with, yeah? So we started from gathering requirements, huge list, many discussions, meetups, so presentations, all these kind of things. Time spent on actually discussing and discussing and discussing and discussing, and all the effort and engagement that was put in these discussions. This was actually such a huge, precious thing for us. And if anyone would come to us and say, we need to change, would we? Oh, we would be reluctant because so much effort was already spent there. But when you look at one of the best practices, which is like, for example, if you take one of the most popular frameworks like Scrum and you take the sprint approach, what is the main question there? It's not that we have requirements and how much time and resources you will need for that. No. It is, we do have a team, so we have resources. We do have a sprint of 2 weeks. And what is the best thing we can do with these people in this sprint? So, and that was such a powerful transformation in the mindset for me that I really think it's worth sharing, so to say. And this means that, in essence, you are actually focusing on the value and the most dangerous thing in the project, which is called the project itself, with the scope, with the budget, with the deadline. It's the most dangerous thing to have, to lose your focus for value. And this is why I would like to share with you. So most of you, I see, that are familiar with that, but I really find this very powerful question to ask ourselves. Instead of, what is the temptation? So the temptation is that we have already started doing that. So what is the only way out? To continue. And no is the answer. So the answer is that the new day has come, the new sprint has come, and it's not about automatically continuing doing what you have started. You have an opportunity to refresh and ask yourself again, what is the best thing we can do in this sprint, right? Even if you have started working on the feature in previous sprint, you still ask yourself this question. And instead of having excuses that we have already started it, or we have already discussed it, or so this is what we want. Okay, so question number 2, and it's quite obvious, I think, but still worth mentioning. You see that many people are talking about the thing that you need to focus on the needs of the customer and things, but in reality, if the organization and teams do not embrace this mindset, agile mindset of being adapting to the changes and focusing on the value and asking these powerful questions themselves, so there is really a big temptation to actually doing what is based on our assumptions, what the powerful people have suggested to do, what the people with loudest voice, with most confidential voice suggested to do. If you think for a moment, you will find out that at the discussions in the meeting room, when you have a power there, whether it's an expert power or legitimate power, so, or when you have this kind of assumption, it's plenty of assumptions there. And actually, the temptation of not testing and validating those assumptions is huge. And the bigger the corporation, the more temptation you have to go there, right? Because you're in a hurry, especially if it's a big competition. So you say, there is no time for validation. There is no time for testing. Just do what we want to do, and that's it. But in agile organizations, you will find some practices that you will find the people, like product owners and all the team members, more in a mode of a researcher, investigator, like Sherlock is, right? So trying to putting the dots together. So in the previous presentations, we have heard very cool things, and we have heard the words like complex, complicated, right? So something new, something really cool. And to achieve that, you need that mode and attitude of a researcher kind of thing. And you will find the design thinking practices there, because when I was working in different companies, we did the product, so we developed the products, we actually did the projects, and they were quite successful, but we didn't have that expertise of being like researchers kind of things. Again and again questioning, is what we think we want, is it really what the customer needs? And also, most of you might be familiar with the very simple tool which is called a user story, which gives you an opportunity to put yourself in the shoes of the user and actually look from that perspective and think from that perspective. Personalize your product, saying that, imagine it's Maria, the user of the product, and this is how what is her need. And the most important question in that user story is, what is Maria is trying to achieve with what she wants? So there is, in the format of the user story, you will find in order to. So that's again the why behind. So that's again the need behind of it. And it is in front of us all the time. Okay. And question number 3. This was the most stressful question. When I got it by email from one of the directors or something, after like sending the weekly report about the progress of the project, and there was a question, so what? And there was such, shock. And we also, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this. And there is a huge narrative in the my email, and I do it weekly. I'm so honest, I'm hardworking, I'm so great. But there was a question mark, just 2 words after the huge email, 2 words, and I received it. So what? And of course, this was stressful. We were shocked, everybody, in the project management office. But when I realized it now, so it was a question about not the output and deliverable that I got there, but about the impact out of it, so the outcome of it. So what is the impact out of it? So, okay, so you were a hard-working team, and so what? And this is the question we are, so to say, pushed sometimes. If you are not ready to ask yourself this question, you are pushed in the agile organization to ask this kind of question. So what? And of course, it's given in a more like nice way. And this is called, like, for example, OKRs. Familiar with OKRs, anyone? Good. So objectives and key results, right? So, and these objectives and key, not the deliverables, not the developers. So it's all about what is the overall objective of us doing this kind of thing, and how we gonna measure the progress to it. So how we gonna validate that we are progressing there with the key results, and there is a huge challenge. There is a huge challenge of data. There are a lot of excuses about how we can get that data, how can we measure. We can't because we don't have anything, and all these kind of things. But you need this kind of thing in your agile journey. You need that driver. So many people are fascinated with the agile way of working, saying that it's more freedom, more delegation, but it can become a nightmare, even more controller command, and even more effort put in discussions all the time if it is not driven by very specific objectives and very measurable results that will get us to that objectives. So, and I have seen that kind of stories in my experience, and I'm really happy that more and more organizations are adopting and understanding that this should be objective focus should be on all levels of the organization. And of course, finally, so I have went through the 3 questions, but the really very important final question is just to ask ourselves open questions. You know those open, closed questions? Right? Closed questions like yes, no, and open questions with some more opportunity for discussion and brainstorming. So we're asking about open questions, right? Asking ourselves, how are we gonna be the first choice for our customers in this and that service? Seems to be much powerful, rather than, so what we can do with this happening here, right? So you really have that ambitious, much inspiring, open questions in front of you to drive you to the best results. And I want to finalize my story. You recognize this guy here, right? So cutie. And there is a prayer from Little Prince, and it's quite a big, so to say, he prays in so big text. But if you read it, you will find out Agile there, so to say. And the 2 proofs for it are, for example, so Lord, I'm not praying for miracles, and I'm only asking for. And these are 2 things, like, do not give me things I desire, but the things I need. And another thing is, teach me the art of small steps, which is actually that building your product and not doing the project, but building your product continuously in rounds, like in sprints, all the time, asking yourself that powerful question: what is the best thing we can do in this time with the resources that we have? Thank you very much. Before I leave, this is a QR code to the Agile, whoever is interested in the professional development in Agile, different kind of practices, international certification. This is our website. Some of the trainings are provided by me and my colleagues, and some of the trainings are provided by international experts. And follow up us, so follow this, this is a site, and you will find there LinkedIn, Facebook, everything, and variety of opportunities for development. And thank you very much once again.